All you need to know about AAVE's version 3 rollout, sourced from ambcrypto.com. The AAVE protocol and its community are preparing for the rollout of the AAVE protocol version 3, which will be targeting the Ethereum market. One of the key features planned for AAVE's V3's Ethereum mainnet rollout is more flexibility when staking, especially during risky market conditions. The V3 users will be better positioned to implement features for mitigating risks during volatile and unfavorable markets. What is going on, everyone? My name is David with Sin City Crypto. I am joined, as always, with Robin. And today we are covering AAVE, the DeFi platform, and their V3 rollout. Now, Robin, AAVE essentially has gone unscathed throughout the entire Terra Luna debacle, Celsius, and now, of course, FTX. Are you comfortable saying they are one of the true DeFi platforms that are out there?
Yeah, I think it's kind of the standard for lending when it comes to smart contracts and cryptocurrency and just finances without a centralized entity. And I am looking forward to them expanding and adjusting for market conditions in the future. I think this is something we're going to see more of. And I'm, out of all the things that has happened over the course of the last few months, where we had the collapse of FTX, the shaky grounds that Genesis is on, and all of the other contagion effects that has spilled over from FTX, the one industry that has not been affected by this, at least not at a fundamental level, has been DeFi.
True DeFi,
yes. And, that if you were to, I'm not talking about the price of tokens, I'm not talking about price movement, but the actual core fundamentals behind these DeFi projects have remained unscathed, and that the problems that we've seen have come from the faults of people, the greed of people, and also people's inexperience and just not doing what's right? And so this is the beauty of DeFi. This is why we beat the drum for more DeFi, and why not beat the drum for AAVE? Big fans here.
Now, I do want to continue to highlight some of their new features in the V3. The biggest to my what I've seen is going to be their isolation mode. This is directly from AAVE's website, docs.aave.com. You can go check this out for yourself. So one is called isolation mode, which will allow the AAVE governance to list new assets as isolated assets, which have a specific debt ceiling. Only certain assets can be borrowed in isolation mode, specifically approved stablecoins. The debt ceiling for an isolated asset is represented as the maximum amount in US dollars that can be borrowed against the user's collateral with 2 decimals of precision. Also, something else that's going to come out of this is lower gas fees, around 20 to 25%. Now, Robin, we've seen when stuff hits the fan in the crypto space, liquidity, you have liquidity crunches, you have extreme volatility, and if a project doesn't have a lot of liquidity across many platforms, it can be completely destroyed, along with the people that are borrowing or lending against it. Do you like this new proposal, this new feature that's going to be added to the V3, where during market conditions that are not favorable, that are quite more risky, liquidity issues, things of that nature, that these certain projects now have debt ceilings, right? You can only borrow and lend against so much with so much collateral.
Yeah, what took so long, We've seen a lot of, and I know you got to build this stuff, so I'm kind of halfway joking, but, it's been a long time coming, or it's, been needed for a long time, and I'm glad that at some point somebody's putting something in place to protect projects that don't have strong liquidity. Because at some point, you're a new project. At some point, you need to list your tokens for sale. And you know what? After everything that happened with FTX, I would be a little weary with listing with a centralized exchange. And so if your option is, hey, I got a new project, I can list it on a new centralized exchange and maybe roll the dice with that, maybe you're going to fall prey to another Alameda, right? And so if you decide to stick with the DeFi sector and you're a new project and you're vying for liquidity, you got to be careful, man. Whales play whale games, and they can take advantage. They can drain liquidity, take advantage of the system. And this is all legal. This is not, it could be unethical, it could be immoral, but at the end of the day, if a whale wants to come in, someone with a huge amount of money wants to borrow and put in a position on your liquidity pool and dump the price or pump the price either or for their own personal gain, nothing's stopping them from doing it. But now there is something stopping them from doing it, and it's in the baseline code. Something I'm excited about.
Speaking of exciting and baseline code, I want to just give you an overview. So I'm going to talk about AAVE, the different markets they have, and then we're going to talk a little bit about their tokenomics and what we think about them. So this is from AAVE's website, www.aave.com with 2 A's. So their total liquidity locked across 7 networks and 13 markets is over $5.8 billion. You can go check this out for yourself. Their markets include, of course, Ethereum, Polygon, Arbitrum, Avalanche, Phantom, and I believe Harmony One is in here as well. Now, we've seen with the current everything that's happened, right? We see if we see 20% APY, immediately alarm bells ring off. Where months ago, 4, 5, 6 months ago, we would be, not we, us personally, but majority of people would be jumping on those. So here is AAVE's dashboard, their markets, and what kind of percentages they're supplying. So on Binance stablecoin, to supply, you get 1.18, and to borrow, you pay 2.5, or you get 2.58. And you can see down the list here, nothing jumps out to me where it's like, oh my God, how are they affording this? What are they doing? This is the beauty of true DeFi. All these numbers get adjusted based on what happens on chain, based on lending, based on borrowing, based on user activity, and it's all executed through code, through the smart contract. It's not a centralized entity that is covering it. Now, caveat to that is even though I'm saying all these things about AAVE, I would still be extremely careful having your money on any sort of platform, lending, borrowing, staking. I still believe there's too much contagion that's left to be spread from the FTX debacle. I've been saying this for the last few weeks. Preservation of capital over gains at the moment. Robin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp. Remember, DeFi is still pretty new. It wasn't really till 2019 with the emergence of AAVE and Uniswap, with the start of smart contracts. Was this even come to be? And so, very very new technology. On the grand scheme of things, it's 3 years old basically. And when it comes to finances, that's just in an infantile stage. And so, I would feel comfortable using the platform, but I wouldn't feel comfortable using the platform with all of my net worth, put it that way.
Right.
I know those are two extremes, but I mean, you need to weigh your risk versus reward. I think it's a minimal risk to use this platform, but there is still some risk because it's such a new space, DeFi in general. But if you are going to transact, lend and borrow in a DeFi manner, what a better project to use than AAVE. Currently, it is at my most comfortable list. I don't want to just sign my soul away to anything. Like I mentioned, I'm not sitting here saying AAVE is the next best thing that to Bitcoin. But you know what? For DeFi, I do look at it as a front runner right now.
I cannot disagree with that. And let's take a look at AAVE's tokenomics. So this is from CryptoRank.io. So AAVE coming in at $64.52. We're going to take a look at their circulating supply. We're going to take a look at their funding rounds. And so we can see here total supply of only 16 million tokens, which 88.74% of that is currently circulating, which is good. You do want to see over 80% circulating to total supply ratio. That way, like take, for example, we talked about this on our live show earlier today, which you should join us Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, that we look at a project like Avalanche where over 55% of the tokens are currently not circulating. So you do have to worry about some of these tokens finally entering circulation and what kind of price or what kind of suppression that will have on price action, let's say in a bull market where prices are starting to rise. I want to also take a look at their token sale. So AAVE did go through an ICO at $1.84. This was back in October 24th of 2017 and did raise $16.2 million. They also had a pre-sale at $1, so essentially a private round. They raised $600,000. They did also have two funding rounds. One funding round, my apologies. Two, sorry. $7.5 million, Parify Capital, and then you have Blockchain Capital and Standard Crypto. That was on October 11th of 2020. Robin, are you comfortable with AAVE's tokenomics?
That looks pretty solid to me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let us know what you think about AAVE. Let us know in the comments below. That'll do it for the video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.